Kosovo is Serbia, one of the slogans that could be heard during a recent demonstration by Kosovo Serbs in the Serbian capital Belgrade. They were marching against an EU-brokered deal to normalize relations between Serbia and Kosovo. In the hope of opening up talks to join the EU, Belgrade has agreed to give up control of northern Kosovo, whose population is majoritarily Serbian. In return, the 4 municipalities concerned by the deal would have a degree of autonomy within the Republic of Kosovo. We are in Mitrovica, a city split in two by the river Ibar, which acts as a border between the Albanian community in the south and the Serbs in the north. They are afraid the agreement will force them to be part of Albanian Kosovo, whose 2008 independence they never recognized. Political leaders in the north are threatening to block the implementation of the accord.
The people and members of the Kosovska Mitrovica parliament, which represents them, are worried about this agreement. That's their main concern. They don't want to live in Kosovo, a state which they don't recognize.
Milos is in charge of international relations at the University of Mitrovica. He says he can't see how the North can operate without assistance from Belgrade, which effectively runs its own parallel institutions in northern Kosovo, in key areas like justice, education and healthcare. He also fears for his quality of life.
If I become Kosovo institution, that my salary will be almost 2 times less. Another point, it's actually social security. That's really important. Also concerned in terms of pension system, what will happen with this, and also in education. Now with this agreement, nothing is not, to be honest, explained.
Milan Ivanovic runs northern Mitrovica's healthcare centre. He's also among the most fervent opponents to the accord, which he says contains many grey areas, especially concerning public service management. Without Belgrade's support, the health sector, for example, will suffer heavily, according to him.
Our personnel's diplomas would have to be in Albanian and recognized in Kosovo. We would lose our citizenship. We would no longer be Serbian. We would become part of the so-called Kosovo nation, which we don't want. So doctors would leave, and they would be followed by other medical workers. I can just imagine a scenario where there would be a gradual exodus of the Serbian population, which will effectively result in a form of ethnic cleansing.
There are similar concerns in the judicial sector. Under the accord, northern Kosovo's judiciary would no longer operate separately as it does now, but become part of Kosovo's legal system. The town of Zvečan is home to northern Kosovo's Supreme Court. For this young lawyer, the implementation of the accord is unthinkable.
Who is going to choose judges and other legal personnel if we are integrated into Kosovo's judicial system? Who will decide on laws? Who will manage our working conditions and pensions? It is impossible to integrate Serbian law, which is applied here, into Kosovo's legislation without having to change our legislation and constitution. Moreover, after this change, if it does take place, we might be out of work.
Details of the agreement have yet to be clarified and raise many questions. Under the deal, Serbia won't be forced to recognize Kosovo as an independent state, but Pristina will have legal authority over the whole territory. The owner of this photo studio is wary of promises made by the international community and NATO, which is responsible for security during the implementation of the accord as part of its mission in the region. Her shop used to be located in southern Mitrovica, but it was destroyed by Albanians during the war in an attack during which she nearly lost her life. She has now set up shop in the north.
NATO's role is to ensure peace, but how is that possible? I was kicked out despite the presence of NATO troops. Everything you see here, I built from scratch after the war. I can't imagine having to start all over again. Believe me, I've lost all trust.
Hardly anyone here sees anything positive about the new agreement. But we met someone who does. This businessman owns a hotel and a shopping mall. He says it's an opportunity for economic growth in a region hard hit by unemployment and a source of stability that could bring more tourism.
I think it's a good agreement, and I think that Serbia and our Serbian leaders in the north will come to an agreement to improve the lives of Serbs and boost employment and business. The Serbian economy can only stay and survive here if it is economically strong. We have problems here, street violence and a lack of law and order. Both for the people and for businesses, the priority is the rule of law. We need order and clear rules.
Tensions remain in northern Mitrovica. This administrative office of the Kosovo government, which opened just last year, has been the target of repeated attacks.
What is on that side.
The office has no political role, says its director. Its aim is to provide the local population with administrative services and to fund local infrastructure projects. But some Serbs we meet here don't want to be filmed. They are afraid of being recognized and of becoming themselves the target of violence.
They come to, the threat is always a potential thing that might happen to everybody who comes to this office. In North Mitrovica, you have maximum 20,000 people living in the north. And already 6,000 people visited our office, even if this factor of the threat still exists in the town.
Changing license plates before changing sides, one of the absurdities of northern Kosovo's divided system. We're careful not to get noticed as we head for the neighbouring village of Brajani, home to a mixed Albanian-Serbian population. Adriana was called here by Serbian families displaced after the war, whose subsidised housing badly needs repair.
There's no sewage system, just a septic tank. The smell is unbearable around the Serbian and Albanian homes. We've already sought help with various administrations and the UN mission when it was here, but nothing was done.
If we make this place more attractive, everybody will want to stay and to come back and continue living in Mitrovica North. I think that Mitrovica has good potential and this can be a very good place for living.
An optimistic outlook which now faces the test of time, as does the future implementation of the new Brussels brokered deal in northern Kosovo.
Vidimo se. Ćao.